Hi, this is Gerald Salenti. It's Thursday, June 4th, 2020, and here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, it's a little down over there in Asia, down across Europe, boop, boop, boop. In USA, oil, gold up, and that Bitcoin still hanging around in that high 9,000 range. And as I say, there's a place for Bitcoin because, hey, there's all that digital money backed by nothing and printed on nothing coming from all those central banksters. So, hey, why not Bitcoin? At least it has a bottom to it, and this thing doesn't. They just keep printing. So, stocks were lower on Thursday, giving back some of the strong gains for June as Wall Street grappled with disappointing job data. How surprising. Wall Street grappled with disappointing job data. And you know what that is.
Bullshit.
You got it. Disappointing job data. What the hell does anybody expect? These low-life, scummy politicians around the world lock down the global economy. Disappointing? You got to be a moron to think it's not so bad. But hey, they're totally disconnected. They're in the stock market. That's right. The stock market. 10%. The 10% own 84% of it. The rest of the little people, they got their pensions in there, you know, the retirement. Pennies. There's a total disconnect. Greg Manarino has been writing about it now at Trends Journal, as we have. It's a total fraud, the equity markets. Earlier in the session, the NASDAQ 100 hit an intraday record. However, the index ended down 0.8%. From February 19th to March 23rd, the NASDAQ 100 plummeted more than 30%. The index has skyrocketed more than 40%. On what news? Yeah, Pepsi-Cola's in one of those things, aren't they? Yeah, people are drinking more of that stuff. Anyway, the Labor Department said 1,877,000 American people filed for unemployment, topping the Dow Jones estimate of 1.775. Continuing jobless claims rose sharply, reaching nearly 22 million. So, another great one here. American Airlines stock rallied more than 41%. On Thursday, today, the European Central Bank said it will increase the pandemic emergency program by 600 billion euros, bringing the program's total to more than 1 trillion euros. Since March 23rd, when the Federal Reserve came in and said, we'll give you criminals, the Wall Street gang, all the money you want to keep the fraud going. You got it? We'll buy you junk bonds. We'll give you all the dough you need to keep gambling. The trading houses. The S&P 500 since then has surged 42%, while the Dow has gained 43%, and the NASDAQ composite is up more than 46%. This is the worst economic decline in history, what we're facing. Oh, they're going to reopen things. Yeah, with two hands tied behind your back. Well, we'll let you do 50% capacity, maybe 25. Hey, I'll be generous. I'm the mayor jerk off. I'll give you 75. This thing isn't opening up. The whole game is disgustingly rigged. Oil prices were little changed on Thursday as investors awaited a decision from top crude producers on whether to extend record output cuts. That's right. All this supply and diminishing demand. Oh, wait a minute. American Airlines stocks went up. They'll be flying American again. They'll be burning that stuff up. Yeah, you know what that is.
Bullshit.
You got it. You ready for this? Brent crude futures were up 6 cents 0.2%. West Texas Intermediate gained 12 cents. Okay. U.S. government data on Wednesday showed large increases in fuel inventories as demand remains impaired due to coronavirus pandemic. The demand doesn't remain impaired. We have impaired morons, idiots, disgusting politicians that are mentally impaired that destroyed the global economy. Gold rose more than 1% on Thursday as the dollar retreated and Wall Street paused its recent rally as dismal U.S. trade data overshadowed slightly upbeat job numbers. This is the kind of crap that when you go to the mainstream media, you get. I just read how the numbers stink, the job numbers. Oh no, they were slightly better, Salenti. Don't you know who we are? We're criminals. We'll steal all your money and say anything to get it. And that's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. TrendsJournal.com, history before it happens. We tell you what's going on, what it means, what's next, the truth in trends. We're unrelenting in the truth, and that's why we need your support. Tell your friends, subscribe to the Trends Journal. The more people we have, the more we can do. And if we don't fight for freedom, peace, liberty, justice, and joy, these sick people, the money-hungry freaks, and the ones that they give the money to, the politicians, will destroy our lives as they're sucking the joy out of us right now. And what else do we have? Earlier in the day, I read the European Central Bank. Reigniting worries about the economic slowdown, the U.S. trade deficit surged in April as the COVID-19 pandemic upended the global flow of goods and services, pushing exports to a 10-year low. No, it's not the pandemic that upended the global flow. It's the politicians, the sick people that have upended it. Again, the data's all there. The elderly, chronically ill, lung disease, diabetes, obesity. They're the ones that should be quarantined. The numbers add up to nothing. And we're over 100,000 now in America. Yeah, you take out the elderly, chronically ill, now you're down to 50,000. Oh, and then when you put the real numbers in, because the lying, slimy scum right there in your Trends Journal, the facts are there, according to the Centers of Disease Control, put in anything you want. We'll give you money, you'll get more dough. Make it coronavirus death. The facts are there, the numbers are even lower. Economy setback seen taking 10 years to end. Oh, they must be reading the Trends Journal. Who said this? And it won't end in 10 years. We'll be dead in 10 years because these same 6 son of a bitches, and to be equal, daughters of bastards, are going to take us to war. And you can see how easily the people march off, just like they marched off to them to fight the COVID war. But anyway, who does this come from? Oh, the Congressional Budget Office. That's right. Buried. 10 years. If you want to know what's going to happen, how to best prepare, we have it in the Trends Journal like nobody else. So put your money where your mind is and your heart. UK Central Bank warms up to negative rates. Oh yes, warm right up. Poorer nations' outlook is grim. The world's low-income emerging market economies will likely remain deeply damaged even 5 years after the coronavirus pandemic and associated lockdown began. According to the World Bank. And here's the other part of that. Compared with the global financial crisis a decade ago, emerging economies entered the pandemic with more debt aging populations and weaker demand for commodities and all the trade problems. Again, it's not the pandemic, it's the prostitutes that sold us this and the politicians that took advantage of it. Unrest derails retailers' plans to open. All this unrest going on around America. And this is just the beginning. Just the beginning. We are going to have a summer of 68 and worse. And it's going to be global. When people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. So now these scum bags on Wall Street are saying how great things are going to be, pushing the NASDAQ up to new highs, intraday highs, and the retailers can't open. You go down to Soho, New York City, it's a war zone. And there's other places like that around too. So now they got all these curfews, FUs, yeah. And the people out in the streets at night aren't the ones that you want to hang out with. While the economy's already going down, and they have all these restrictions on openings, and now they're boarding up all these places, you think there's going to be a bounce back? Starbucks staff gets tough choice. Employers have to decide whether to accept fewer hours or take unpaid leave. Now remember, Starbucks opened up. I love the language they use over here. This is great. The world's largest coffee company said it is encouraging workers to take unpaid leave until September because it has decided to keep its dining rooms at most of its thousands of U.S. cafes closed for now. Dining rooms? You call those crappy, shitty places dining rooms? Dining rooms. And the coffee tastes like crap. Bitter shit. But hey, their sales are down 35 to 40% from last year. There's a bounce back. There's a bounce back. Be positive, Salenti. Mall owner misses bond payment. Mall owners, CBL and Associate Properties said it failed to make an interest payment. First major retail landlord during the coronavirus pandemic to take this step toward a bond default. They have 108 properties. No. It's not the coronavirus pandemic. The prostitutes keep using this language. It's slimy sons of bitches and daughters of bastards that are destroying our life right in front of our eyes. And all the imbeciles wearing the mask. I'm going to keep wearing the mask until the governor tells me, okay, you can take the mask off. Oh, and all you people in the FUK over there, you get on them buses and everywhere else, you got to wear their masks. Maybe for the rest of your lives. New order from above. Gap sales fall 43% as retailer takes hit from coronavirus pandemic. Not from the coronavirus pandemic. There is not a deadly disease as bad as other ones before. Oh, what did that 1918 flu, Salenti? How about that one? The Spanish flu. Only 50 million died. And you know why? But they don't forget the story about followed World War I, when they destroyed Europe, gassed everybody. Oh, the people in the trenches, all quiet on the Western Front. Coronavirus pandemic isn't doing it. The maniacs are doing it. Your Governor Cuomo's, your gruesome Newsoms, your little boy, what's his name? Tom Wolf. What Wolf? A little puppy dog crap boy. A little nothing over there in Pennsylvania. Oh, social distancing, that clown. Hey, did you see him marching right with everybody else the other day? That's okay. That's okay. Social distancing. They're making this shit up. I want to see the scientific evidence. Oh, no, human beings are supposed to wear masks. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. The biggest U.S. mall owner, Simon Property, sues Gap over skipped rent payments. Oh, what a coincidence. Deutsche Bank says Neiman Marcus violated $760 million loan. It's coming back. Let those markets keep shooting up higher. Payday lenders sidestep ad bans and state restrictions. These slimy lowlives, you know what their interest rates are up to? You ready? 1,825%. And you know what the cap is in the United States? 35.99. 35.99. Hey, shithead, how about 36? No. I'm a bureaucrat. That's the number we're making up. When I was a kid, they used to call it VIG, the loan sharks, when they charged 10% interest. And they busted their chops. But not anymore. No. Because the slimy politicians get paid off by these scum so they can get their money to run for office. Shoppers can expect a season of store sales. No kidding. We only wrote about this in the Trends Journal back in February. We said this was going to happen. If you're going to buy stuff this year, boy, this is the year to buy it. Because it's going to be cheap. U.S. airline shares surge as American and Virgin add flights. American Airlines prompted a surge in shares across the U.S. sector on Thursday today after it said it would fly more than half of its domestic flights scheduled in July. Half its flights! And the stocks went up 30%. Half its flights! According to the TSA, U.S. airport screenings are down 85% from a year ago. And what else do we have here? Macau gambling revenues wiped out. Sands China in Las Vegas, the subsidy that operates casinos in Macau said its revenue evaporated almost entirely in April amid the drought of mainland Chinese visitors. The revenue fell 98.7%. But casinos to reopen in Missouri and Iowa. El Dorado Resorts. And El Dorado Resorts said it is abiding by Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds' rule that limits capacity to 50%. The governor's rules, some scum, some crappy bureaucrats make up this shit. 50%. I say 25%, 75%. They're making it up. They're making it up. I want to see the scientific data. Nobody can show it. No one. Just like the mask crap, and it's all in your Trends Journal. You wear the mask, it's more deadly for healthy people. And they changed this. The CDC and World Health Organization did a 180 on this because they bowed down and take it so they could get money. They're making this stuff up. You can't operate a business on 50% capacity. Governor Andrew Cuomo said yesterday that Phase 2 in New York would happen, and he would allow outdoor dining. Hey, shithead, the wind blows outside. I don't care if you're 5 feet or 6 feet or 7 feet or 20 feet. Oh, you're going to make him eat with a mask on? Oh, you can eat outside, but you can't eat inside. Oh, but if you're outside and you're not eating, you got to wear a mask. You got to be socially distanced. People better stand up and fight for your freedom and my freedom. I'm fighting. I'm fighting. Join the fight, or else you're going to go down, and they're bringing us down. Again, subscribe to the Trends Journal. The more we have, the more we can do. Because the majority of Americans are morons. Like everywhere else in the world, majority of Americans expect a second wave. More than 2/3, 70%, surveyed believe there will be a second wave of coronavirus. Fear, hysteria. One stupid thing after another. Indictments, the CEO fixed price of chicken. The chief executives, one of the country's biggest chicken producers, and 3 other industry executives were indicted Wednesday on charges they conspired to fix the price of... No shit. What a surprise. The bigs have taken over everything. The Amazons, the Walmarts, all the big companies put everybody else out of business. The slimy politicians did away with the antitrust acts. The Robertson-Patman Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, Clayton Antitrust Act, and slimy Bill Clinton, another murderous piece of garbage, with the Glass-Steagall Act. Made the bigs bigger, and all we are nothing more than plantation workers in Slavelandia. And that's what this is going to be. Can't you see it? It's in front of your eyes. The bigs are in control, and all we are the peasants. Hey, how about that job at Starbucks? More than half of students probably can't afford college due to COVID-19. Not due to COVID-19, due to the murderers that destroyed the economy. That's all right. You won't get even a job at Starbucks. You'll be taking to the streets. We are going to have violence if we don't have peace and prosperity. U.S. billionaires have become $565 billion richer during the pandemic. Not during the pandemic, during the lockdown. And who says that? Well, this is according to the Institute for Policy Studies. Last time we reported that, we were 435 billion richer. Total wealth of billionaires now stands at 3.5 trillion. Yeah. Isn't that great? America, you got it. The bigs own everything. Again, they own 10%, own 84% of the stocks. The pennies for the rest. COVID-19 pandemic hits black voters' incomes hardest, Financial Times poll shows. 74% of black voters reported financial hit compared to 58% of whites. U.S. coronavirus deaths crosses 100,000. Black Americans bear a disproportionate share of fatalities. Nearly 23% of reported COVID-19 deaths. Again, this is from CNBC, so it's no, As of May 20th, even though the people, they make up 13% of the population, 23%, 13%, because conditions such as diabetes, obesity, hypertension, asthma that tend to plague African Americans more than other groups. And again, we wrote about this in the Trends Journal. When you saw where they were dying, particularly in Michigan, they're in polluted areas as well. Same thing, by the way, in Italy, in the Lombardy region, polluted regions. So poor, polluted regions of people that are unhealthy. That's who's dying. CDC found that a higher percentage of patients with underlying conditions were admitted to the hospitals or into intensive care than patients without underlying conditions. About 78% of ICU patients and 71% of hospitalized COVID patients had one or more reported underlying health conditions. Buried. All right? You don't lock down the healthy people. But the healthy people in this country aren't healthy morally. They're cowards, like in many other countries. Italy, Spain, Germany, France, one after another. Heil Hitler, bow to Mussolini, salute Stalin, follow Conti, listen to Sanchez, obey Merkel, and little Catzon Macron. And what else do we have here? According to the Centers for Medicare and Medicare Services, known as CMS, about 80% of nursing homes nationwide reported to the CDC, and America now has at least 26,000 nursing home residents have died. And then school closures draw dropout concerns. This is in Spain and Italy. Remote learning gaps leave students behind. Efforts to help families fall short in Italy and Spain. I'm mentioning this. I mentioned before about what's going on with the reality that a lot of young people won't be able to go to college. The average debt is $30,000 before this happened. And now families don't have the money to even borrow to send their kids to school. The rich are going to have everything. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, bullets, bombs, and banks. It's in front of everybody's eyes. If we don't unite for peace, liberty, love, and joy, these sick people that started the COVID war are going to lead us into World War III. And it'll be the end. Again, do what you can to support the Trends Journal and other organizations that want peace, liberty, justice, and freedom that they're robbing from us. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens from the world leader in trend forecasting.